This is a guide for you to build the Raygun Mark II for free in Shattered Vale and then upgrade it into all its elemental variants. We'll start with building it for free. To start with, you need to be at round 10 or above, and you then need to go down the elevator into the mainframe chamber where the Big Sam AI is, and you need to look out for a lab technician zombie. And this zombie will drop you a floppy disk when you kill it. And there's a chance that if you've already got a nuke, for example, that might have already killed it. So you might need to look around the floor of the mainframe chamber and generally all around the floor of that underground. And once you kill that zombie and pick up the floppy, you can then go back up the elevator and you need to bring it to this room here. It's on the right-hand side if you're facing the T-Rex. And in the corner of the room, there is a computer that you can enter the floppy disk into. So hold square on that computer. When you do so, a bunch of zombies and parasites and bugs are going to spawn in. So take all of them out and then go back to the computer. And just to the left of it, there is a fax machine and you can hold square on it and there'll be a pop-up on your screen with a little message. And in that message, there'll be a capitalized word like moth or yeti or things like that. And you just need to take a mental note of what that word is in your game. And then you need to go to the child's bedroom with the little chalkboard in it. And I'm going to run there now so you can see where that is. Once we get there, we're going to be translating the word that we had in all caps into numbers. And it's very simple how we do this. Let's say your word is Yeti. You're going to find the letter Y on the chalkboard and you're going to see how many other letters it's nearby. So in my case, the Y is in a cluster of 5 letters. And so my first number is 5. Then we're going to move on to the E in Yeti. And you can see that that's in a cluster of 4 letters. So my number is 4. The T is in a cluster of 8 letters. So my number is an 8. And then the I of Yeti is in a cluster of 2, so my final number is 2, but it will be different in your game, and like I said, you might have moth, for example, instead of Yeti. So once you've got that, go back down the elevator, walk up to this doppelgast in a little sealed chamber, and hold square on this keypad, and then enter your 4-digit code. That will open up the chamber, and you can kill the doppelgast inside, and that will then drop a severed arm, which you can pick up, and you'll then want to follow where I'm running in the gameplay here, to the armory, which is also in the underground. Enter the armory, and then walk up to the Raygun Mark II that's on the wall here, and on the right-hand side, you can hold square to attach the severed arm to the fingerprint scanner, and that will then reveal the Mark II on the wall for you to be able to pick up for free. So that's the Raygun Mark II built. Now let's move on to upgrading it. First, I'd recommend picking up this free Casimir grenade, which you can find on this dead body just here. You can just craft one later if you need to, but this one's free. Then go to where double tap is, and in the little window behind double tap, if you throw the Casimir down in front of the window, it will suck a canister in, and then when the Casimir goes away, you'll be able to pick the canister up. We're going to use this canister to build the blue SMG variant of the Raygun Mark II, although technically you can do these in any order, so this canister doesn't have to be used for the blue one specifically. Come to Shem's Henge, which is outside, kind of near the spawn area, and place the canister inside this yellow box. And once you do that, it's going to spawn in a couple of abominations down in the henge area just below these steps. You need these abominations to zap the 3 small rocks in this area. Not the big rocks, but just all of the small rocks. And when each one gets zapped, it will start glowing blue, and then you need the abominations to charge into the glowing blue rocks, and that will cause them to float into the air. So once you've got them all glowing, and then you've got them all floated into the air, the abominations will die, and it will start a little defense where you'll have to protect the center area from vermin spawning in. And after you've taken out enough vermin and enough time has passed, you'll complete the step, and the canister, which we originally placed in that yellow box, will be retrievable, and it will be charged up now as an explosive canister. So with that canister picked up, you need to go back down the elevator, or you can take the fast travel from the spawn, and you need to come to this crafting bench and hold square on it, and that will place the canister inside. And then when you're holding your regular base version of the Raygun Mark II, you can hold square on the bench again, and that will craft it into the blue version of the Mark II. So that's 1 out of 3 elemental Mark IIs. For the second canister, we're going to need tomahawks. So pick up some of those from a crafting bench or from the ones you can find in various areas just around the map on the floor and things like that. And then head down to the mainframe chamber and take a look at this tube just here. To the side of it, you should see a letter on the wall, and you need to make a note of whether it says A or B. Then run through to this part of the underground, and on the left, you'll see an A and a B on the wall and some pipes with gas coming out of them. And you can turn the gas on or off at a given one of those red wheels by hitting it with a tomahawk. What we want to do is we want to turn on the gas to make it flow to the letter that you've got in your game. So if your letter's A, you're going to turn on the leftmost wheel, the middle wheel, and then turn on the A, but make sure B is turned off. Or if you've got B, turn on the leftmost, turn on the middle, and then only turn on B and turn off A. You have to throw your tomahawks very precisely to get the wheels to turn, but once you've successfully turned on the 3 valves that you need to get gas to flow to your letter, you'll get an audio quote from Sam, and you'll then be able to go back to the mainframe chamber where Sam is and use an explosive like a Semtex on the front of the canister now that it's filled with gas to blow it open, and you'll be able to pick up a canister from inside by holding square. With that canister grabbed, we're going to start working on the next elemental ray gun, which is the purple shotgun ray gun. And for this, we need to rely on a little bit of RNG because you need to open up all of these white boxes around the map. And one of them is going to contain a bomb that you need to pick up. There are tons of locations of these things, so I'll show you a load of them now. The first white box spawn we're going to take a look at is in the armory. You can see it just on the left-hand side there. Then when you pop back out of the armory, opposite this little camper van looking thing, there is another white box just here. Then in the other room in the service tunnel, you can find another white box in the corner. Then once you go back upstairs, if you go to the southwest balcony, you can find a white box just here. Inside the building, if you go to the west hallway, there's another white box just here. And then going through there and down to the outside west balcony, you can see a white box just here. Then on the east side, if we go to the T-Rex room, you can see a white box just here. There can also be a spawn just here on the floor. And I think there's a couple of others in there. Then out the front of the grand foyer in the motor court, you can find some on the right-hand side just here. And then also on the left-hand side, on this far side, you can see I've got my spawn there. And that's where I actually got my essence bomb. In the Shem's Henge area, there's a white box just here. And there's another spawn you can get just here by this lion statue. And another one actually by the portal as well. Then if you go back to the conservatory, there's one in the base of the conservatory. And there can be another spawn up here as well on the right-hand side. Now, like I said, this is a non-exhaustive list of spawns because there are so many of these. But I'll put some more spawns in the description for you guys if you get stuck or you just can't find them while running around the map looking for them. Once you've picked up the bomb, there are 2 other parts we need to grab. Both of these can be found in fountains. The first is near the spawn area. You're going to then go to the conservatory and just out the back, quite near to Quick Revive, you can hold square here to get your first reflector. And the second one is just here. As you can see, there is another fountain of the same kind of design. You can hold square on it and get your second reflector. So once you've got 2 reflectors and you've got your bomb, then go back downstairs to the underground and on this wall of rubbly stuff here, hold square, that will place the bomb and it will blow open a tunnel inside. Then go through the tunnel, across the room and place your canister in the machine. That will cause lasers to spawn in from the ceiling. Then do a 180 and place one of your reflectors on this metal podium just here and your second reflector just down here, and that's going to reflect the beam across the room into one of these doppelgast statues. You then just need to melee the crystal that the beam is coming out from, and that will cause the doppelgast to turn into a real doppelgast, and you need to kill it, and that is your first doppelgast soul collected. Next, you're going to melee this reflector just here, next to where the beam is coming from, and the reflector on the other side of the room we're actually going to pick up, and we're going to run up this slope here on the left-hand side and place that reflector down at the top. We're then going to melee it, and as you can see, that is going to reflect the beam again into another doppelgast statue. So go and melee the source crystal, and that'll spawn in the doppel, kill the doppel, and that's soul number 2. Then go back to the reflector that's on the ground floor and melee that one more time, and it will reflect into a third doppelgast statue. Same deal, melee the source crystal, it will spawn in a doppel, but this time it will be an elite doppel, so it will be harder to kill, so bring your teammates in if they're around. And then once you kill it, that is your third soul collected, and you can pick up your charged canister from the other side of the room. And that one needs to go to the crafting bench in the director's quarters area. So hold square, that'll put the canister in, and then hold square again with your base ray gun or any other ray gun, and that'll convert it into a purple ray gun. Next, we need 1 more canister. To get this, you don't actually have to use an elemental ray gun. You can just use a regular ray gun Mark II, but it will not work with a ray gun Mark I, like a normal ray gun. It has to be a ray gun Mark II, and you're going to use it to shoot these big blue crystally water pouchy looking things. There are 4 of them total, and you might get lucky and you might get your canister from like the second one you shoot or the third one, but I'm going to show you all 4 spawns now. So the first one is just here. It's quite near Quick Revive in the kind of conservatory area, and you'll see it in the roof. So shoot that with the Mark II. Then The second one, you're going to go into the mansion. You're going to take a left here, and then you'll see it outside up on the wall. So shoot that. That's spawn number 2. The third is if you go in the mansion and then go to the right, you'll see it kind of up this staircase here. So shoot that. That's number 3. And then the fourth one is going to be down the elevator in the service tunnel underground area, and you'll see it high up there. Shoot that. That's going to be spawn number 4, and one of those 4 will give you your next canister. In order to charge the canister, we first need to get ourselves 4 seeds from 4 plants that we need to blow up with explosive damage. And so that could be Semtexes, like I recommended you spawn in with at the start of the video, or that could be you using the Raygun Mark II on them, because that's explosive damage as well. But you will have to use the base version of the Mark II. You can't use the elemental versions here. There are a ton of plant spawns. I'm going to show you as many as I possibly can now. So for the first one, we're going to be in Shem's Henge, and it's towards the back area by this ledge, or it's maybe also to the right by the tree. It can be around there. The next is going to be near Quick Revive. It's going to be on one of the sides of the fountain just there. Then spawn number 3 is on this side of the bridge, and there's also another spawn on the other side of the bridge. That's spawn number 4. Then if we go back to the top of the conservatory here, on the left-hand side by these bushes, you can find a 5th potential spawn. Also on the right-hand side of this area, you can find one towards this kind of corner or towards these bushes. Then if you go through the mansion to the southwest balcony, there can be one out here, or another can be inside here on this table. Then another spawn is back here on this little tree well, and then another one is behind double tap in this corner, just kind of hidden away. So like I said, you're only going to get 4 of the spawns, and they're usually going to spawn near a kind of grassy area or something along those lines. After all, they are plants, but if you can't find them still, then check the description and I'll have some extra spawn spots in there. So destroy all 4 plants that you have in your game, and each one will drop a seed, so pick those up. And then when you've got 4 seeds and you've got the canister that we grabbed a minute ago, run to the conservatory and place the canister into this machine here. Then go up to one of these rectangular incubators and plant one of your seeds. It will start off small, and you need to defend it while it grows over time. So take out all the zombies that are going to try and attack it, and then when the seed pops up and gets bigger, you can move on to the next machine. So that was our first machine. Let's move on to our second here. Plant your seed, defend it, wait for it to grow, take out the zombies as they attack you. I usually use explosives here. That seems to be the most consistent for me because it's quite a tight area, so Semtex and stuff is great. Your third seed machine is going to be just here, so defend it, wait for it to get big, and then your 4th seed machine is going to be just here, defend it again, wait for it to get big, and with all of them done, you'll have completed this step, and you'll be able to go back over to your canister machine and pick up the charged canister. Now, if you fail any of the seeds, like if the machine takes damage, don't worry, because the seed will just plop out the front of the machine, and if you're quick, you can pick it back up again. And if you take too long, you might need to go find your plant again, but just be speedy and you'll be able to put it back in that machine again the next round to try again. But assuming you didn't fail, you can bring the charged canister to the crafting bench in the spawn and hold square on it, and that will put the canister in, and then you can hold square again to get the next Raygun Mark II, which is the marksman rifle yellow one. So you probably have 2 questions now. One is, now that I've built the ray guns, can I do the main quest Easter egg with these? And the answer is yes, and I've got my main quest guide linked on the screen right now. Go do it, it's a really fun one. And the other question might be, which ray gun is the best? And for that, I've also got another dedicated video breaking down which is best and which is worst, and that's also linked on screen. So click through and I'll see you there.